guys, how you going? I'm just going to run you through a quick whitewater safety talk. The first things we should be thinking of before we get on the water is hydration, your breakfast, how much you've been eating, what clothing you've got on, if you've got appropriate clothing for the weather conditions, your footwear. You should always have enclosed footwear, boat shoes, whatever you've got, and also any loose jewellery or stuff like that you might need to take off. Alright, getting started with our PPE. So this is all your safety equipment on the river. You have your helmets. First thing you do, adjust your helmet so it fits your head. Also, if you are wearing a cap, usually there's a little ball at the top of your hat there which you can take off because it can cause some injury if you take an impact to the head there. Alright, so once you adjust that helmet, put it on. Oh, probably a bit small. We're just going to do this one up. Tight enough so you wobble your head and stop moving. You can put two fingers underneath underneath your chin, although you can't really fit any more than that. So this is your PFD life jacket, whatever you want to call it, and pretty much what you're going to be doing, you're going to be loosening all the straps to start off with. Chuck this one on. What you're going to be doing, you're going to start with this very bottom strap right here, clipping that one in first, and then working your way up. And then what we're going to do, we're going to just tighten these straps around the side. So, in the middle if you need. Alright, once you think you're pretty good, you can go over to a friend and do a buddy check, which is pretty much lifting up on their shoulder straps and making sure the jacket doesn't ride up over their face or chin, because if that's going to happen when you fall in the water, it's going to make it very difficult to swim. So this thing here is your paddle. You got your T-grip on the top. Now your T-grip's a very dangerous part of the paddle. It's what causes most whitewater injury. So if you take a knock by one of these, it's not going to be too pretty. So how this happens is people are paddling around, mucking about or whatever they're doing, and they end up hitting someone in the face. Or what can happen is if you're paddling along, you let go of your T-grip, hits the bottom of the river and then comes up and smash you in the face. So always hand on the T-grip whenever you're paddling is a good way to start. When you're getting into the raft, you're going to make sure that you're washing your feet, just so you're not getting any sand, dirt or anything like that in the boat. Another thing is you should keep these jackets and helmets on at all time, especially when you're around the river edge, because there's plenty of slippery rocks and this works as a bit of impact absorption. So always keeping your life jacket and helmet on. So you're getting into the boat, like so. Now most people like to sit on the side a little bit, and what you can do, you can jam your feet in the sides, in the little, in between the floor and the side of the raft. That way you can lean out and still being able to balance in the raft and do a bigger, more effective paddle stroke. It also helps you stay in the raft when you're going down the rapids. So when you are on the raft and you see a low hanging branch or tree, on the top of the head, on the helmet, instead of leaning back and getting twigs and sticks in your face, which is definitely not a good thing. Alright. So, pretty much another big hazard on the river is foot entrapments. So foot entrapments can be anything really, strainers, or just sticks under the water that you can't see, or you may be able to see them, but if you're floating along and you get your legs down in the water and you come past a log or a stick and your leg becomes trapped, you're not going to be able to stay afloat. The water's just going to push you straight down onto your hands and knees, and I won't be able to get my leg out of that. So what I can do, I can push up on the bottom and get my head to here, so hopefully the water level's here. But if the water level's higher, then I'm going to be in a lot more dangerous situation. So that's one we need to avoid. The way we avoid that one is if we were to fall in the water, we go into a defensive swimming position. So when we fall in, facing downstream, we've got our feet up, we've got our head up, and we're just sculling the water, like so. Just keeping our legs up avoids any foot entrapments on sticks or logs or whatever else may be under the water. If we needed to move to one of either side of the river, we can point our body. So if I'm putting my body this way and I'm still sculling, the water flowing downstream this way is going to push me over this side of the river. If I change it, the water's pushing down this way and it's going to propel my body over to that side of the river. So that's a defensive swimming position. If we need to get somewhere a little bit faster, what we can do is the aggressive swimming position. So how we do that is we roll over on our stomachs, and it's pretty much the same thing, but a freestyle version. So we're going to be rolling over onto our stomachs, and we're just going to be freestyling to either side, making sure our body's on a 45, depending on which way we want to go, which side of the river we want to go. So that's a good one to remember. So if someone was to fall out of the raft throughout the journey, what you can do, if they're next to the raft, they can self-rescue themselves. So the best rescue is always self-rescue. They can come to the side of the boat, trying to keep their legs up, and they can grab this rope on the side and they can push down and up, and then getting into the boat that way. If you're having a bit of difficulty, or a friend's having a bit of difficulty, and there's someone in the boat to help them, they can then grab the shoulder straps of the person and just pull them into the boat, making sure there's no paddles or T-grips in the way, because if you obviously pull them onto a T-grip, it's not going to be a very pretty sight. So that's one way of doing it. If they are too far away from the raft and they have their paddle with them, you can be a bit tricky. And if they have their paddle out here, I can then reach out with my paddle, hook the T-grip and pull them in like that. But that doesn't happen so often, and you're pretty lucky if it does. So that's a good one. Another thing to remember on the river is signals. So if your guide or your instructor is giving you a signal and he is pointing this way, that's saying go over to river right if we're going down this way, or river left if we're going this way. So that's just pretty much pointing out which way to swim. This is a signal for stop, and this is the signal for go. So they're just the basic signals you use on the river, and that's when you can see each other visually. If not, the same thing can be applied, but if you can't see them, you need a whistle to be able to communicate to each other. That's pretty much it. So back to this. This is a throw bag. If you find yourself in the water and you do need rescuing, all instructors and guides have one of these on them. So it'll usually be around their waist or in their kayak or whatever they have. And if I need to throw someone, this bag, the rope just comes out the top of the bag. You can just throw it to them. The one thing you need to make sure you remember is if you're the victim in the water and you get this bag thrown to you, do not grab the bag itself, because I'll grab the bag and they'll be pulling the rope trying to pull me in, and this will just be falling out like it is. And I'll just keep getting swept down the river. So better to grab this rope, put it over your shoulder like so, and then they can pull you up or they can swing you into the bank. And that's pretty much the extent of my safety talk. Thanks for listening, guys.